The holiday season is here. It's time for Christmas dinner, where we gather around with mostly the same people we saw about a month ago, and we eat mostly the same food we ate about a month ago. Except this time there's a bunch of kids running around going, when can we open presents? Can we open presents now? When can we do the presents? Can we do the presents? Anyway, here's how you do Christmas dinner the right way. Now, when it comes to Christmas dinner, it's a little bit tricky because everybody has their own little traditions. Every family sort of does something different, but we'll just assume that we do some sort of semblance of a holiday feast with a turkey and a ham and some sides. I know some people like to barbecue a pig or, grill or, do a seafood boil, whatever you want to do. Sure. One year my family wanted to do sloppy joes, and that was the year I changed my last name. But let's just assume you don't come from a family of trashy Caucasians. Let's assume you're not going to be opening up a can of manwich on Christmas Day. Here's what I would recommend for Christmas dinner. Now, at Christmas dinner, there's a very good chance that there's going to be a ham involved, and I'm down with that. I'm not a big fan of ham on Thanksgiving, but I will allow it on Christmas because Christmas is a day for sharing and love, and we can share the spotlight with a turkey or a prime rib or what have you. Now, I'm a firm believer that a ham is best served cold. So make that ham ahead of time. Don't be pulling that thing out of the oven. All right? Because I like my ham cold because I want that glaze to be nice and thick and sticky. Speaking of glaze, you got to make your ham the right way. All right? What I like to do is I like to cover that bitch up in some Coca-Cola. I like to pour Coca-Cola all over it and down in the creases like I'm in a champagne room with a stripper and I'm pouring bottles all over a butt crack. Anyways, and then you rub brown sugar all up on it and in there. You just get all up in them creases and you're really in them folds. And um, I'm not sure if we're even still talking about a ham. Anyways, but cold ham is good. Also, make sure you mix some ginger in with your brown sugar. Quick little cooking tip there. Now, many of you will opt to do a turkey in addition to or in lieu of ham. And that's cool. I love turkey. But again, watch my Thanksgiving videos, and because I talk about how to do the turkey in the Thanksgiving Warrior videos. I don't want to rehash that again, but make sure you brine it. I will say that. Uh, but with turkey, turkey is the opposite of ham. You don't want cold turkey. That's for quitting bad habits. You want hot, piping, off the bone turkey. If it's on the platter carved up like this, it's already gone down in quality. When I say you want it piping hot off the bone, I mean you want to risk your fingers. Get in the way of that blade while whoever's cutting it's cutting it. In fact, carve the turkey yourself so you have better control of the knife and you don't get your fingers in the way and you could just pick at it while everybody else sits in the corner and watches, whatever, a Christmas story or football. But you want that turkey. That's the good stuff right off the cutting board. Now, if you come from a family where they do like a potluck situation, everybody brings a little something. Not all items are created equally. Inevitably, there's somebody in your family that can't cook uh, if their life was in mortal danger. So you got to identify who that is. And if you've been around any amount of time, you're probably acutely aware. You can probably look at what they brought and tell it's not going to be good. And I say to that, avoid it. Avoid whatever they brought. Don't waste plate space. Don't waste stomach space. Better yet, if you know somebody can't cook, don't have them bring food. Here's what you have them bring: this, a bag of ice. Cheap, necessary, needed, almost impossible to screw up unless you let it melt. Some of the some people will do that. Christmas dinner is also the time for the fine china. All right, it's a holiday. It only comes once a year. We have guests over. For the love of God, use the china. You can't take it with you. It's doing nothing in that cabinet. All right, we need to use it while you're alive, and then we'll sell it on eBay. But yeah, Christmas is the time for real, actual plates. Don't be bringing in these flimsy paper plates that can barely hold a bologna sandwich. We're going to make a huge mess. I'm going to get stuff on my lap. I don't like it. Now, as a big eater and the guy who's doing the heavy lifting here, I will tell you when it comes to everybody lining up and making their plates, let the women, the old people, and the children go first because they're going to be all dainty with the food, and that's probably the only plate they're going to eat. And then you can come behind them, all right, after they're done, and kind of like with the Titanic, where they let the women and the children, the olds, go first. You go in there and you absolutely go in those dishes and you sink that ship. You sink that ship. Iceberg ahead. You eat enough to feed the whole crew. Now, I will say, make sure you're keeping an eye on the kids when they get their food. Make sure they're not putting boogers in there or anything, or doing something heinous like pulling the entire top layer of cheese off the macaroni. If they do that, you beat them kids until social services comes. Now, when it comes to making your plate, don't feel like you got to get it all in one go. Don't be afraid to go up multiple times. There's not a time limit here. We're at home, all right? We can graze all day. It's not a buffet. There's not a time limit. Nobody's going to tap you on the shoulder and say you got to leave. All right, so don't be piling a mountain of food. Go back several times. It's okay. Now, when it comes to the seating arrangements at Christmas, it's very important you demand respect. I'm a 35-year-old man, and I don't think I should be sitting at the kiddie table anymore. I don't care how old everybody else is. I think it's disrespectful. I got to still sit with the children. And you stand up for yourself. You say, hey, I'm not in preschool anymore. I'm a grown-ass man. I got a checking account. I want to sit with Meemaw. Now, oftentimes, people will use a big family gathering, the holidays, to start some shit at the table. They'll bring up something that they shouldn't, like politics, or, a previous mistake, or a sideways comment, or whatever, what have you. All I got to say is if you're going to start shit at the table, you better come ready to roll with the big boys, all right? You better have your facts ready. You better have your comebacks. You better think about what you're about to say, because I will eviscerate you. And if you storm off and you piss me off, I'm going to go over to your plate. I'm going to hock a loogie on there and be like, you ain't eating this food, not the food I cooked. And then your mom's going to start crying, and it's holiday's going to be ruined. Not that that's ever happened or anything, personally. Anyways, follow these tips and your Christmas dinner won't be a bust.